Hola, I'm Rafael Damas, and I'm the Exhibitions Program Manager at Taller. With roughly 4 shows per year, our exhibition program brings much needed attention to the insights, knowledge, contributions, skill, and experiences of Puerto Rican and Latinx artists and scholars. Taller's galleries provide positive benefits to both our exhibiting artists and visitors. For artists, we offer financial support and the opportunity for increased exposure. We give artists the chance to be ambitious, to realize or show a project that might not otherwise be seen, and we strive to make it a museum caliber experience. Each exhibition is well documented, the records of which are kept on our website and as a resource, so that even after the show is over, it lives on. At Taller, a significant artist like Julie Velarde, who is well known outside of Philadelphia, gets attention in her home city. During her show, PAFA bought one of her paintings, and since then she has exhibited at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Artists like Raul Ribeiro had the opportunity to create sound design work that has attracted a lot of attention. His Koki piece, set in this community, registered strongly, and since then he has shown it in Florida and elsewhere. For our neighbors, we bring the artists they care about nearer. And through the artist's work, we might bring attention to the issues they care about, like Johnny Rosari's work dealing with an epidemic of gun violence. Past shows have addressed climate change, prison reform, migration, same-sex attraction, placemaking and placekeeping, loss and memory, to name a few. We present artists who work in photography, installation, painting, performance, video, and conceptual mediums, and offer our community the chance to engage in these themes, to grow or to speak out, to see something different, to experience, admire, and reflect. The immediate impact might be subtle, but it can be pivotal to their outlook. Taller is of the neighborhood. It has history here. It's staffed by people from the area, has been the record keeper of the barrio, and is a principal cheerleader for the community. And what it does and will always do is within walking distance. The gallery, the performance space, and the studio space are always within reach. This year, we're looking forward to a full calendar of programs and exhibitions, starting with the work of master printmaker Nitza Tefino. Well, I was born in Venezuela, in El Estado de Carabobo, which is a terrible name, but in Valencia, but I grew up in New York City. Well, I have a lot of family connections, I guess, to Puerto Rico in some ways, because through family members marrying and also through my parents' experience as artists coming into New York City and the Puerto Rican community being one of the first communities actually to accept them and to bring them into the art world. And also I think as an immigrant, but I do not have the same immigration experiences as Puerto Ricans because I had to have a green card. But I do have this kind of understanding about thinking about when they think about race and being different and being other, I mean, even just experience it in my life as in New York, I could sort of understand that. Also the idea of artists, being from, just working with artists, being artists from all over South America and Central America, either being from their home countries or being from New York and having the tension. So I think that gives me a lot of insights. I mean, I've sat around so many tables and hearing artists talking about their work, talking about trying to survive in New York City or trying to survive this and trying to be accepted in their own home countries or trying to be accepted here, trying to be thinking about being contemporary artists or not being contemporary and not being part of the conversation. So,
My name is Masada Divine. I oversee the archives Eugenio Maria de Hostos at Taller Puertorriqueño. Our collection consists of over 1,000 pieces of media, including books, periodicals, and recordings that document all 49 years of our community's history. Taller's archive play an important role in documenting, shaping, and giving access to historical narratives that might otherwise be lost, helping our community reclaim the power to tell their own stories and better understand where they come from. Our visitors use the archives for academic research and personal growth. This collection is important because most of our materials are one of a kind and cannot be found anywhere else. We are the only archive in Philadelphia that holds as much information on this community and our culture. My experience working here has been great. I've been around Taller since I was a kid. So I feel like I have two different experiences and two different perspectives, but as far as an employee, it's great. I love it. I learned a lot being in the archive and in my area. I'm a huge history nerd, so I feel like I have the perfect department.
I'm Lisa Moser, and I manage Taller's Julia de Burgos bookstore, Philadelphia's only English-Spanish bilingual bookstore. There is a lack of access to Spanish language books and culturally relevant books in our city. The books available in schools do not always reflect the experiences of the students reading them. Of children's books published in 2021, only 5% of them had a Latinx main character. Our store meets this need by carrying books on Puerto Rican culture, in addition to publications representative of Cuba, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Paraguay, Peru, Uruguay, Venezuela, El Salvador, Guatemala, Mexico, Nicaragua, and Panama. It's important for me to bring this work beyond Taller's doors. We recently started doing book fairs at a local elementary school because we learned that some major publishers refuse to go to their school because of the neighborhood's limited resources. They don't think they would generate enough sales to make it worth their while. Our bookstore has stepped in to give these students 2 book fairs so far, and we plan to do more. We offer the books at a discounted rate, and our selection of books is more relevant to the school's majority Latinx student population than any other book supplier would be able to offer. Beyond books, our store connects people of the diaspora and the island with arts and crafts. We sell products from popular small businesses and artisans based in Puerto Rico, giving these makers the opportunity to expand their market all the way to Philadelphia, and Puerto Rican Philadelphians the chance to connect with their culture through objects that signify home. Our monthly Meet the Author events provide a platform for both newly published local authors to nationally renowned Latinx authors to share their works. These events connect community members of all ages over a shared interest. Readings and author talks range genres and topics, from an anthology about Puerto Rican political movements in New York City to a children's book called Arepas for Breakfast. Well, I'm just white, but I feel kind of out of place in my own family a lot of the time. But I really appreciate and am grateful for how much the Puerto Rican community has embraced me. I always feel very welcome and at home and accepted, even though I myself am not Puerto Rican. I'd love to grow the online store to let every item we have in store be listed online, to be able to, expand it and offer it to the whole country and to Puerto Rico as well. I'd love to have more events, more children's events, author events, expand and do book fairs, and the book fairs and pop-up events is something that is really impactful, I think, and important for the community, but it's very time-consuming and takes a lot of effort and planning and stuff like that. So I hope one day to have some part-time workers to be able to expand and grow the store.
My name is Marilyn Rodriguez Burrow. I run the Cultural Exploration and Youth Artist program for children and teens. Together, this program provides homework help, Latinx focus on art education to around 250 kids per year. 25 years ago, I was introduced to Taller by a gringa friend. She was funny. She said, "Lady, how the heck you don't know Taller?" She dragged me there, and it was the love at first sight. There was a store in my language selling items that represented my culture. And they had an education program that involved the arts. And boy, was I happy. I found a safe place in the neighborhood where my kids could go and attend after-school program in their language. Families were relaxed knowing that they could leave their kids in a safe space for a few hours, a place where kids could learn about the arts through the lens of their culture. Taller has been a safe haven in North Philadelphia for over 50 years. Throughout the time, students have come and told us that Taller made a big difference in their life We work hard to create a welcoming environment for all members of our community by embracing their language and their culture. Time after time, I have witnessed students who participate in our program show significant personal growth and greater self-confidence. Taller has created a safe space for many, allowing us to make connections with families from all over span multiple generations. We often see alums return with nephews and grandkids. This program has profound lasting, and I'm especially proud of the teachers. My personal quote is, practice what you preach. And for me as a child, I witnessed a lot of ugliness, and I know where most of these kids come from, the environment. Sometimes they come out from addicts. It could be alcoholism or addiction, or it could be just people being abused. So I've learned a lot and witnessed a lot. And when I show the kids this, that you know how to survive if you really want to. Because for a child, for me, I stutter at 8 years old. I struggled in school for a little bit. And art was a way for me to heal myself and understand myself, and especially when I grew up at my house. No, not in a million years I would thought I would be in that role, but I knew I would be in this organization in some form or way. I knew that. But being an education director, I could say I'm the role model to show the kids that I live in this community. I went to school, I struggled, I saw what you witnessed, and you can make it in the arts if you're really passionate and you want it. We're here to support you in that challenge as well, but it could be done.
My name is Dominic Moret, and I lead Taller's community outreach efforts. Under the outreach umbrella, our Visítanos program brings culturally responsive arts education directly to 1,500 students per week in Philadelphia. Taller began as a printmaking workshop with the purpose of teaching arts and culture to the local community. The original founders built up a reputation of being artists and educators to the local youth, and through the Visítanos Teaching Artist program, I believe that we carry that same spirit. This program places qualified teaching artists in 25-week K-12 classroom residencies. Working alongside classroom educators, teaching artists implement art lessons that integrate standards-based content, reinforcing learning across subject areas. The program includes a field trip to Taller for a guided tour and hands-on workshop. Through tours and workshops hosted at Taller, we are able to teach others about the history of our neighborhood, as well as the broader Latinx community in Philadelphia. We aim to continuously educate people who want to learn about the culture and history of a large segment of Philadelphia's population. In addition to serving younger generations, we work with our elder population. Last year, we facilitated a sewing workshop where seniors learned how to sew garments and applied their artistic expression in the works they would create. They were then able to collaborate with our education department and participate in the spring fundraiser fashion show alongside students. I'm hoping to create more avenues for elders to express themselves through the arts and alongside the youth. I feel strongly that this group needs more resources because they face even greater hurdles to participation, including mobility and language barriers. I was born and raised in Philadelphia. My family is Puerto Rican and Honduran. I've mostly identified with my Central American roots, being that I've been to Honduras multiple times and have been able to absorb the culture longer. I felt more tied with my Central American side than my Puerto Rican side. But I'm exploring my Puerto Rican side now as I've gotten older and spent more time around this community. I always consider myself a student. In a lot of ways, my goal working here at Taller is to learn something every day. So whether that be something historical, artistic, or just like a life skill. I joke about this a lot, but I tell people my job here is to get paid to learn, because I think that that's an opportunity that all of us as artists and individuals here get to do, is we get paid to learn how to do so much. And I think that's a really cool thing. I wish nothing but positive growth and change for Taller as long as it exists. In my opinion, our mission to provide arts and culture to the local community is something that will always be needed, and we will always strive to be better with. And there's always better ways to implement that. I think this community will always need some form of culture to be brought in as generations go on, because we find a lot of times generations don't teach the next generation how to implement culture into their daily lives. And that's where we come in. As artists and as cultural representatives, we do our best to provide that to the community, and I hope to see that for the next few generations through Taller.